So, we are now in open session, so the motion shall be read as follows. We need to approve resolution of the Holstein Aquatic Center litigation, Ida County case number LACV 016895, by which the city will receive $110,000 credit against the contract balance owed to CCC currently held in escrow, and to authorize the city administrator to execute all necessary documents to complete the settlement. And so now I need a motion on that.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Terry, I need a second, please.
I'll second.
Steve, okay. And I will have a roll call vote, so Bonnie,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yes.
And Mike,
and Mike.
he will say abstain.
Yes.
You abstain. Okay, I'm sorry.
You're abstaining though, right?
What?
You're abstaining, right?
Abstaining.
On what? Abstaining?
Yeah, you have to abstain.
Yeah,
from the vote. You
Oh.
can't.
Mike needs to just note that he abstains.
Okay. Okay, so we are done with that. Okay.
Right, everybody, I'm
We
gonna
got a
sign
long
off,
ways to
thank
go.
you.
I know.
And Tammy, I'll be in touch as we finalize things.
That sounds great.
Thanks,
Thank you
everybody.
very
Have a great
much.
day.
Good
Goodbye,
night.
good night. Okay. The next item is citizens forum. Does anybody from the citizen want to say anything? Otherwise, I've got you on the agenda.
I think there might be somebody here for citizen.
Citizen forum?
What's that mean? I don't know.
No, but aren't
So
you?
that is Mike, Mike, do you have anything for citizen forum?
Oh, I'm just here.
Just,
Yeah,
okay.
he was here last time, so.
Yep, that's
yeah,
okay.
That's when he made my lemon bars, so, okay. Okay, business. Iowa DOT, discuss the plans for the US 20 and US 59 junctions. So if you would like to come forward and tell us what you've got in mind, please.
I got some handouts here, so one moment. You want to pass those, you're right. You pass your left.
You got you surrounded.
Okay. You better behave now.
That's right.
Well, just you're surrounded.
Thank you, Marcus, for what you see.
All right, so we have a presentation, that's the bigger packet. And so I'll kind of just walk through that. We'll, last time we were here, you didn't have this, so. So on the first page, we have a public open house, July 8th, from 5 to 7 at the Cobblestone Inn and Suites. Back in fall of 2024, we were here at the City Council to discuss the options for the west leg and east legs of US 20 and 59. And at that time, we presented two different options, a roundabout and a reduced conflict intersection. So since then, we've kind of progressed with our design. So just kind of refresh, because I know City Council's like changeover and all of that, but how we got here. In 2022, we had a very tragic fatality, and we are already monitoring these intersections, but, so on this page kind of shows, in 2022, we took a snapshot in time, and the red indicates that we have a potential for crash reduction. So, and due to that high speed and the angle of those collisions, 69% were injury crashes, 41% were actually fatal or serious and minor, and that's kind of considered pretty high. So then on the next page, it shows the breakdown from 2018 to 2005, or 25, excuse me, of those type of injury crashes. And so these crashes are potentially correctable with the roundabout or reduced conflict intersection. Those are proven safety countermeasures. So we're trying to remove those severe conflicts, and we're trying to reduce vehicle speeds. So then in 2023, in response to the fatality, we did put up advisory, watch for turning traffic, the advisory speed limit and flashing yellow, beacons. Then in '24, we repainted to what we have out there today, which is a single lane in each direction with an offset left. And just little trivia for you today since it's hot. That was 20 miles of paint. That was all hand painted by our paint crew.
20 miles.
Yeah, so, and then we put in the portable speed feedback trailers and, some message boards just so folks knew that the traffic pattern had changed. Then in 2025, we finally changed the regulatory speed limits to what they are today, which is a 45-mile-an-hour zone when you hit the park limit. And kind of through that first west leg of the intersection, and then we have a 55 zone between the two. So, in the meantime, we're working on design, and we did what's called the intersection control evaluation phase 2. And part of that was to look at a roundabout versus a reduced conflict intersection. This city council was supportive of a roundabout. However, when we do a quick side-by-side, both are very safe. The roundabout does excel in all movements. The RCI excels at eliminating severe angle crashes. Driver expectation is roughly the same. Traffic volumes for a roundabout though, you would want all 4 legs to see the same number of vehicles for it to flow operationally. Whereas a reduced conflict intersection gives that heavy major road that predominant movement, so that would be US 20. So also a roundabout has a much larger footprint, which equates to drainage area and real estate. So the RCIs fit well on a divided highway. So what we've made the determination is we're proposing reduced conflict intersections instead of roundabouts at both the west and east junctions. And if you guys want, I can show a video of how those work. Are folks familiar with reduced conflict intersections? So the only one in the state of Iowa right now is on US 20 at mile marker 126. Okay.
Do you want to plug it? You can just unplug my laptop and plug yours in if you'd like.
Okay. Got a converter too.
So much traffic. When am I supposed to go? I can probably turn left after that car if I go really fast.
Whoa, let's not rush it. You could find yourself in a serious or even deadly crash.
Wonder if I lost my internet connection. Hang on, sorry, tech. I did. I love that T-Mobile.
The Wi-Fi here.
Yep,
Probably not.
if you go
Yeah.
into conference room.
I got it.
Okay.
Thank you, Bill. Hopefully I have it.
You can go into conference room. I'll get the code for you real quick.
I'm sorry. Office 119.
All lowercase.
What?
Could we plug back into hers and Google it and bring it up?
We could.
Yeah. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm
Google
connected.
away.
No,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
connected.
If it stops.
Always a great thing when it works. Always has the timing of when it did not work.
It heard me talking, so I know it's
We'll
gonna
see.
work. While she's bringing that up, so you've got, I think, 3 different things. So you've got the presentation that she's walking through. And then this is a booklet that we're gonna have at the open house. So like Jessica said, our open house is
You
scheduled.
have to use the adapter for mine.
Oh, okay.
It's scheduled Wednesday, July 8th from 5 to 7. And we've rented out the
Just
Cobblestone,
awesome.
the event center. So this is the booklet we'll have for the public. Jessica's walking through probably some more detailed information with you than we will for the open house. And then the last thing we gave you, yeah, and so there's, on the front, it's front and back, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's showing the west junction as well as the east junction intersection, we're calling them these, yeah, same
And that
thing.
will just be here for us, it won't be at the 59 going down by the Grove, right?
So
It'll be
it's
both.
both, it'll be both.
Both.
So that
So
one you're
the
looking at is
east-
the
Oh.
east junction. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's right.
I'm trying to think some things to point out for these, if you're looking at the 11 by 17. On Highway 20, we're still allowing those left turn movements.
We're allowing left here at the west junction, not at the east junction.
Yep, so,
Okay, so here we go.
Fast.
Whoa, let's not rush it. You could find yourself in a serious or even deadly crash. Crossing a busy road from a side street can be frustrating. Waiting for the opportunity to turn left or cross a 2-lane road with heavy traffic can take a while. And crossing a busy 4-lane divided roadway can be downright overwhelming. Nobody likes waiting in traffic. When trying to cross these busy high-speed roads, some drivers may feel uncertain or impatient and make an unsafe decision that could result in a severe crash.
Okay, then why isn't this an interchange? Then I could turn left more easily and have less risk of a bad crash.
Interchanges take years to build, acres of land, and cost millions of dollars. Unfortunately, it's not feasible to build interchanges everywhere.
Okay, how about a stoplight? That should work.
Traffic signals are great for some locations, but they aren't always the best solution. For example, how many times have you waited at a red light when there were no other cars on the road? Also, traffic signals on high-speed roads can lead to unexpected slowing or stopping, which can result in high-speed rear-end crashes. Thankfully, there is another solution that will get you through an intersection quickly and safely, called a Reduced Conflict Intersection, or RCI. We haven't seen them much in Iowa, but they are often used in neighboring states to help drivers safely navigate busy divided roads. Studies show that an RCI can reduce fatal and injury crashes by 63% compared to an intersection with stop signs on the side roads. And they take the guessing game out of when it's safe to cross multiple lanes of traffic coming at high speeds from different directions. Now, buckle up. Let's talk about how to navigate one. When approaching the intersection from a side road, look to your left for oncoming traffic and turn right onto the main road when it's safe to do so.
Wait, I said I wanted to turn left, not right.
Hold on, we're getting there. To continue going straight or to make a left turn, you'll make a right turn first and then move into the left turn lane when it's safe to do so. Now, see that median opening? You're going to make a U-turn at the opening. Look at that! You have successfully made your left turn. And if you were planning on going straight through the intersection, all you would need to do is turn right once you get back to the side road.
That sounds okay, but it seems like a lot of extra steps.
Actually, the time to navigate the RCI is not much different than waiting at a stop sign or traffic light.
So basically, with a reduced conflict intersection, when you're turning from a side street to a 4-lane highway, you only have to deal with traffic moving one direction at a time?
Exactly. Turn right onto the main road, make a U-turn at the designated area, and continue through or turn right onto the side street. It's 3 simple steps to keep you moving safely.
Sounds good to me. Catch you later.
Reduced conflict intersections. Another way we're working.
Okay, so kind of what you said about, it reduces the crash potential, it simplifies your driving task because you're only dealing with one direction of traffic. There will be that additional space for the longer vehicles. Right now, that median is so narrow that if a semi were to turn, they're kind of hanging out into that live lane of traffic or the turning lane, whereas now we'll have a dedicated left so they can queue up. We can retrofit, so we don't need a lot of extra pavement, and we can get this going, and it's a lower cost to do the roundabout and or an interchange. So it's gonna be faster to build, lower the cost, and improve the safety. So if you guys turn right here, which is also on the handout, we're gonna go from 42 conflict points to 24 conflict points, so almost cutting it in half, which is a proven safety countermeasure. Now, I know a lot of you are in ag or in energy, and you're going, we get a ton of oversized, overweight vehicles coming through here, wind blades, all of that. How are they gonna do this, right? So, we did pull and design this we did pull all the permits. We had 239 unique loads crossing, which 1,091 times that had the description of wind power in them. And we had 232 unique loads crossing that made the movement 771 times. This is what was from 2019 to 2023. And so what we've done is we have designed this for a large load. So there's a thing that's called a loon on this screen sheet, sorry, right here. That's that black bump out on here or on the west leg. You kind of see this yellow bulb out. That's that loon that will allow those large loads to come and make that turning movement and stay on pavement. Okay? So that way they can get through there efficiently. Most of these have an escort vehicle to begin with, and so they'll be able to make that movement. The photo that's in your packet is actually I put in the first reduced conflict intersection in Wisconsin, and we designed it for a bunch of logging trucks and then some other large refinery equipment, and so they make that movement all the time. We plow it, it's ready to go. And then we'll have lighting there, and both these intersections will be lit. That lighting is also set back and designed back far enough so that way a wind blade won't take it out. Okay? So kind of digging into the plans, that's your big 11 by 17. That's what we'll be showing to the public. And we're gonna have a scale model at the open house. So you'll be able to drive the ag equipment through it. Somebody can drive a car through it at the scale model. It will be 25 foot long because we're gonna have both intersections so folks spatially can understand what's going on. Okay? And then are we doing a smaller one?
I can't remember.
Right. I wasn't sure if we had like a little one.
Yeah.
But we might be able to cut that off and then leave it either here or at a library or something if folks want to physically try to see how that goes. But we found that helps explain, because it is at a scale model, that yes, you can get your tractor through. So, okay.
Yeah, we will have, we'll, on the 11 by 17, we'll have visuals there of what's on that front and back, but yeah, we're kind of taking a chance with a 25 foot, we'll see if it works, but it's scale model, they can use match cars.
Shane pointed out, and I'm sorry, we're putting in a couple other RCIs. We do have lefts actually at both in that center, so that, westbound US 20 will be able to turn south on 59 without doing the U-turn movement. Okay?
Say that again, what you just said.
So, right?
It's the east one.
Yep,
So
east
either one
one,
that's tough to
either
see
one.
in those
So let's say you're
smaller
going
places. This is a
westbound
left
20, you
turn,
wanna go
you
south
come
on
down,
59. They
Oh,
will
this
be
is
able
going
to
in.
turn left.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
going down to Ida Grove.
Okay.
What kind of distances are we looking at for south of town here to get into that left lane once you make that right-hand corner?
So it's about, there's roughly 900 and change, if you want to call it the long end, 1,000 feet from where you take the right to where the far end of that
Okay,
other left turn movement. It's about 900 feet on the nearest part of it from where you go. These are, it's a fairly big opening that goes there. You see the little dashes there along this, we call that the center line.
yep,
Each one of those little check marks is 100 feet. So you can
Okay.
see that opening there is about 75 feet. When I say that, that's the yellow portion that's right there
Right.
along that center line.
Mhm.
So there's quite a room for that semi to be able to come in there, swing around and come back around.
right.
And they're not teeing up because of that, they're not teeing up like at a 90 like they are right now. It's kind of getting that wide berth so that way they can
I've been through
accelerate.
the one at Fort Dodge with a semi, and it works good. It really does.
And then the key will be is we'll have really good signing. So the challenge is always when, after we first construct it, this thing hasn't caught up on navigation. And so one of the issues they had at east of Fort Dodge was folks were trying to drive through the median and then they're having to put in a bunch of reflective posts to go, you can't do that, right? But people will follow this on a type B maintenance road, they'll follow it into a lake.
It's,
They need to follow the signs,
they
okay?
do.
Other questions I know folks will probably have at the public meeting is, access during construction to the truck stop and to the hotel, right? That intersection, we will have to be able to do those radius and pour those. The benefit is there is a backage road and, you know, they can go down but we will try to have the incentive, disincentive to get things open and those type of things, so.
When are you projecting this to be done?
We will begin in
Oh,
spring of '28, and it'll be done by fall of '28.
28.
One construction season.
So I got a question. Why don't you have like a right lane and accelerate lane? Instead of like trying to pull out into live traffic and jump across two lanes, like even for like when the semi wants to go and make that right-hand turn, you know, if they had a little time to accelerate and then they can merge out, because not everyone's a polite driver to let you in, you know what I mean? I'm just curious why there's not a right lane acceleration lane.
Part of that would be is if they're still trying to turn left, it's just one more lane of traffic that they have to get across. Right? So if they're in the acceleration lane, then they have to go through the two through lanes, and then they have to get into the left turn lane.
Yeah, true.
Not my meeting, but the eastbound traffic, it would be really nice if we could move, I mean, even before this, if we could move that speed zone back further, because there is that little bit of like an incline there, and so we end up setting two or three emergency vehicles way back to slow them down, because it's like 45 intersection.
Okay.
So if we could slow down the eastbound traffic, at least sign it, and some of them aren't gonna, but I mean, I think it would help to slow down the eastbound traffic.
A little bit more earlier.
Yeah.
Like push it all the way back to the Catholic Church cemetery?
Maybe.
Well, I'm.
Yeah, nobody slows down now.
Because we
55.
we put several emergency vehicles
Yeah.
over there when there's an issue, because you have.
Well, that
I mean,
incline is real.
That incline's
You
real.
can
And that will
see
come-
over top of
We're
that.
taking part of that out with the construction of this.
Okay.
But just a thought for working accidents out there, that would really help us, because, you know, if we could have one vehicle slowing cars down instead of three, that just really makes life easier.
Mhm.
And then my only follow-up question is, with the speed limit change, statewide speed limit change, is that going to then become 60 between the two
So the
intersections?
statewide speed limit change is only for two-lane rural highways.
Okay,
And that's at DOT primary, and then that is also, the county roads.
okay.
So this is a 4-lane divided, nope. But we would, obviously, we would go back to 2 lanes all the way through in each direction on US 20. And then we would kind of look at, I don't think, it wouldn't stay at 45, it would probably go up to 55. So, maybe 65. But the difference between, especially this west junction location and like, let's say the one east of Fort Dodge is, we have a couple more at grade. And then we do realize German is like what all the high schoolers are taking to get to school, so.
So just from your perspective, with German, there used to be complaints about that, how with the crest there, with the slower speed limits, have you got that crest, people feeling more comfortable with German?
I haven't heard a lot as far as working accidents. That's another area where we use several vehicles due to visibility. But that's really the only thing that comes to mind. I just don't have a good solution over there. It's already, unless there's some kind of cool accident scene ahead sign that you can pop up out of the ground with remote, that'd be really cool.
So what questions do you have, what concerns?
What would be like the difference in the points of conflict between the west one and the east one? So I guess, when I look at the east one, I just really don't feel like we really need that, in my opinion, but.
So, it has had, it just hasn't been as recent. Incident history there as well. You know, we did end up putting in that acceleration lane for the north to west. But, you know, folks, depending on the time of day, we've got sun and things like that. We do have an incident history there. It's just not as, I want to say, dramatic and recent as here at the west leg.
Because if you go back to, it's early on when she was talking about potential for crash reduction. I know you're trying to keep things moving, so I won't try to leave this too long. But we have a program that we run, and it compares every intersection to similar intersections across the state. And it tries to evaluate, do you have a higher than expected crash rate, or is it something that you would expect? Because the one that's on the west, you're correct, is more severe. That's ranked number 5 for crash rates, or for high potential on the 1,166 similar intersections.
Across the state?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
So, and now the other one, you are talking about the east, the fatalities dropped off the 5-year history that's there. And I can't remember the year, but just after US 20, this would have been like 19 or 20.
Yep.
So there was a fatality that we had out that intersection. It's just dropped off the 5-year history, that the things that we got, it might have been actually 17. Now that I
It was
think back.
17, it was
I think it just
yeah.
was before this. It says negligible, but it still ranks 206th, so it's saying it out of the
In the top
1,100.
20%.
So it's still in the top 20% of intersections. So if we're out here, we're addressing things, we try to be proactive, you know.
We're trying to be proactive.
So that's where the decision-making came in with that. But yes, for the high-speed, partial stop intersections, the one on the west does rank very, very high statewide.
I'm sure people are gonna go, why don't we just put a stoplight? Why don't we just put stop signs, you know?
Because we don't want a mobile.
I know.
And yes, we're reconstructing US 23 Mobile, but that project got moved up a year, so we were unable to address the intersection. We have kicked off a safety and operational study for the 4-way stop there. Chances are that we'll have either a reduced conflict intersection or a roundabout in it. Ideally, we'll have it where your first traffic signal is in Sioux City and your last one is in Davenport, or Rebuke.
And So they have a high incident rate there at that intersection as well. They have constant running of the stop signs at that location.
Prior to construction,
Oh,
a minimum of 8 times a day, the stops were run.
I was through there last week and it was early morning. I stopped and the truck coming from the west didn't slow down a bit.
We've got those, like, we have the camera there, so we have plenty of
We still have
examples of there.
Yeah.
And then signals, people are that, we've gone through this both, well, we're putting in some roundabouts at Spencer and Marcus. That's always a go-to. People think that is a traffic calming device, it's a safety device. It has no proven safety countermeasure, actually for severity reduction when you install a signal. Changes accident types. You get now more rear ends, people that way, especially in high-speed locations, just what you said, people aren't paying attention, not slowing down. Put a signal out in the middle of a roadway where they're not expecting it, it does not improve safety. Signals are done to manage congestion and getting traffic and number of vehicles through an intersection, not to improve safety.
So we would still have 42 conflict points with the traffic signal, whereas we have 24 with the reduced conflict intersection.
Any other questions?
No, we just kind of wanted to build some support before the public meeting. If you guys hear of anything ahead of time too, you can reach out to Sarah. She'll get the questions just so we're kind of prepped.
What's your estimate cost on this?
We're a little over $1 million for each one of them. I think it was at 1.2 for each of them at the last estimate, is my recollection.
And then a roundabout would be about double?
So the one in Spencer, so this would be probably similar to that one in Spencer, that's estimated at 4.3 million, so you're probably looking at some.
Correct. So essentially, we got 2 intersection safety improvements for the price of 1 by going with the reduced conflict intersection, which is why we recognize that the city council supported the high-speed roundabout. We appreciate that. But as we
Not
got-
everybody felt that way.
In the public.
No.
We appreciate your commitment to safety and doing something. But we are getting questions of why is it differing from what the resolution was? It's because we dug into it some more, did that phase 2, got into the design and started looking at a series of trade-offs. Okay, so we didn't want to have to buy more real estate than we needed.
And along those lines, the open house is to provide information on the projects that are coming. So we're trying to do a better job of being clear on what input we're looking for at what point in time. But this is to provide that information on the projects that are coming in. But they're coming in 28.
So July 8th from 5 to 7 on Cobblestone.
There's not a formal presentation, so come and go, so if you don't have to be like right at 5, whatever works for the
Okay.
person's schedule.
Come and go.
Yep.
I
And if
do
you
feel
were
like
gonna-
the changes you made just with redoing the lines, I think was definitely helpful.
Oh, yes.
I think so.
We just had a crash fill 2 weeks ago.
I know, yeah.
We all about watched one
We almost watched one the other night,
at a ball game.
semi versus, yeah,
Probably have it on the video.
yeah. It was a,
You got a time, you might be able to get it.
Okay. Okay,
Appreciate
well,
it.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you, thank you.
Thanks for your patience.
Okay, the next item is Sheriff's Department.
Are you gonna be at the public hearing? Can we come there? We sit down and go through.
Yeah, these-
I don't know if you heard you, Kathy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, we're going on to the Sheriff's Department, electric bikes and scooters and side-by-sides. That would be you, Corey. You wanna share your insight on what you wanna say?
Mike and I were kind of talking outside a little bit about this. I actually had to do some research on it
Thank
with
you.
my split duties here. I don't know every single law. I know that's crazy to say, but I don't. So I had to do my own little research today. But you know, I will say I mean obviously I don't live in Holstein, but with e-bikes flying around Ida Grove too. So I live on a Fairlane Street, which is a nice big hill, and so I see and understand the concern with them. I will say that I'll probably keep my opinion out of it, because my opinion's not important. I will tell you guys factually, I'm unaware, I'm unaware of a single call that we've had involving an e-bike accident in Ida County. Now, I shouldn't say that when I leave here. I won't make it home without dealing with one, but that incidence has been pretty low. I also have some questions that I can't answer for you guys about e-bikes being sold that don't comply with the state law. And I mean, this issue a lot bigger than I think Ida County is, there's basically 3 classes of e-bikes. 2 classes you have to have only 1 class you have to have a licensed driver, and it has to have a speedometer. Those are ones that will go up to 28 miles an hour with e-assist, which is a class 3. Class 1 and 2 will go up to 20 miles an hour with e-assist, and they're just regulated like bicycles. They're supposed to, on the state code, which I read today for the first time, they are supposed to pedal in order for the e-assist to work. I think there's a lot of e-bikes being sold that do not comply with the state code, because the ones I see, no one's ever pedaling at all. And the state code says, 750 watts, but the e-assist should deactivate if you're not pedaling. So it may be something more where, maybe a little bit more education and training for us on these, because they've become a huge thing over the last year, especially this spring for whatever reason. As far as Mike and I were talking to outside, kids running stop signs and stuff with e-bikes, the only real difference between that and a bicycle is just that they've got some electricity helping push them. But that's that's just my thoughts on the subject matter. We will have, just like we do with bicycles, we're going to have e-bike accidents. We're probably going to have some that are terrible. We just haven't yet. But I think, haven't had time to look at the code, I think that, and kind of absorb this issue a little bit better. I think enforcement's going to be challenging as far as, the assist versus pedaling, because I think that's what e-bikes were designed to be. They were designed to help people who were bicycling but needed the extra bump. That's not what I'm seeing. I don't know if you guys disagree with that, but so maybe we need to do some more training and education on our side of it.
Because are you classifying the scooters under e-bikes?
So scooters are kind of their own deal, because e-bikes, are regulated basically like a bicycle.
Yeah.
Unless they're a class 3 that goes faster.
Yeah.
Scooters are kind of their own thing. If they're low speed, if they're just low speed like electric scooters, like the stand-on kind, I don't know what to call them, but those are not, unless they're high speed, they're not regulated in the state code.
Because I think the biggest differential thing here is an actual pedal bike goes slow enough where you can stay on the sidewalk. These things don't go slow enough, and everybody's using the street.
Well, at the ball game the other night, there's 2 or 3 kids on them, and on scooters and on the bikes, and I don't know how many people they almost hit. It's just like
sidewalk.
And they just,
went right down the
they don't
sidewalk.
understand traffic laws, so they're not obeying them.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think as far as the stand-on scooter style, that's maybe something that I don't want to tell you guys what ordinances you can and can't write, because I'm not an attorney, but there's no state code that's going to apply to that unless it's high-speed gas powered. Then that's a whole different thing. But I would maybe check with. I'm not an ordinance specialist by any means. I just have to read them when something gets called in and try to understand them.
Because even those scooters are running 15 to 20.
Yeah, and that I have to look back. I looked it up when we were outside. the speed on those, but it's like 40 through 60 is when it's regulated like a vehicle, which to me is insane. 20 miles an hour is really fast on the
Well, you know,
sidewalk.
if you're riding a moped, you have to have a flag, you have to be old enough to drive the moped and everything. And we've got kids that are on these little scooters, and they're just little kids.
The ones without pedals you're talking?
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's some that are sit down too, and then there's the stand-up ones, and man, when you see a 6-year-old kid driving that thing down the street and he hits a bump, we're gonna have a problem with, or he is.
Yeah. Which I don't wanna, I mean, I don't wanna see that on the EMS side of my job either, because those are the worst kind of calls.
And we get, I'm not picking on anybody, but there's a little motor, it's a Briggs and Stratton motor on this little mini bike. This kid's wearing a helmet, but
That's a mini bike, that's.
but he's
that's
not
regulated.
licensed to be on the street.
Right, yeah, that would be regulated, that's something, that is enforced, or that could be enforced if we're there and we see it.
Yeah, exactly, I know
Yeah.
it's timing issue for you guys, and
Yeah, that's something that, is, if it's a gas motor, that's its own,
yeah.
its own thing, but the e-assist stuff and the e-bikes is a little convoluted. But it maybe would be interesting to see, I don't know who you guys work with as far as, ordinance development, but, or if there's other cities, I just don't.
And the problem with having a city ordinance is the enforcement of that city ordinance.
Sure.
So we can have it on the books, but, it goes down to enforcement. Are we going around and ticketing? Yeah.
Well, it
Sounds like education.
Education, I think on our side, I think, I'm not too proud to, and probably the guys who do patrol every day and that's all they do, they probably have a better handle on it than me. But, I had to look it up because I didn't, some of those regulations I didn't know. But I think, if you guys look at an ordinance, what's really, really difficult, how do you write a 7-year-old a traffic ticket? I mean, the logistics of that are, there's a really great.
Put his mom and dad's name down under.
Well, there's a really great Iowa, and that doesn't work, but there is a really great Iowa code that says allowing an authorized person to drive, which that ticket we do write. That's very expensive, and the parents, that's like a parent letting a kid drive an ATV. You can write a parent. I think it's over $400. Yeah, the last time I wrote it, I was social media famous in a flattering way. So if you guys were going to look at ordinances, look at an ordinance on any of those things, I would recommend that, if they're under 16, the parents ticket for allowing them, because that makes enforcement clean. And mom and dad usually don't like $400 tickets or being summoned, whatever, that's my my thoughts as I sit here. I haven't had enough time to research the issue any further than that and see what other cities are doing, but those kind of tickets to parents it's much more effective enforcement from us.
From what I've seen, it sounds like a lot of the communities in everybody's area is having the same issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I've seen it on some other municipalities, not in the county, but like them posting on Facebook and stuff about it.
I talked to somebody, they said Storm Lake is really having a horrible time with it.
Yeah, and they might be a good one too, that, ordinance wise, I'm sure they've got
Some rules.
I'm a big fan of stealing from other people who've already developed things if possible.
Steal shameless experience.
No, I mean, if it's a policy or, an ordinance or something, or, for me to be policy, but.
Okay, very good. Well, we'll keep this in mind, and thank you, Corey, for.
And I will,
Okay.
and I will send some information out to our patrol deputies. Just kind of as a result of our conversation here and also my own research, just to bring it to their top of mind a little bit, because it's, most of us, when we went through the academy, if you said e-bike or electric scooter, we wouldn't know what you were talking about, so, I mean, I'll try to send out some updated
One
info.
other thing we had here was the side-by-sides, so usually they're adults driving them. And usually, yeah, well, I mean, is there, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, you guys actually want.
Oh, well, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, they're licensed in the county, correct?
So
If they're ag or something, I'm not sure.
As far as running on the city streets, they can, if say somebody's running from, like, they own property on the east side of town and the west side of town, and they drive through town in as part of their ag duties from one farm to the other, you know, and stop at A&A or whatever, that's legitimate as long as they meet all the other codes that apply to ATVs. Legally, using them to plow snow, can't do it unless you guys draft an ordinance saying that they can. Just pleasure cruising around town, can't do that.
That is all day, every day.
I think if they're specific people, and I actually have those. Yeah, you guys do.
Yeah, we do. I mean, because I remember when we had it, because it was farmers only, and or if we were gonna allow them, if they were doing yard work, that they could take it out to the dump, but that was it.
Yeah, and I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think your ordinance even allows for yard work.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were cut slack, but.
I think it might be one of those, like,
Wow. Saturday, the whole main street was nothing but side by side.
no kidding.
Well, that's because there was.
Right, I know, but it's not legal, right?
It is 7505.
There's a lot of things not legal.
Right, but I mean, but what we're, yeah, obviously it happens, but I mean, it's just like.
That was a
It was a, yeah, I understand what it was.
fundraiser, wasn't it?
But obviously,
But-
people are abusing the use of side by sides.
When they're out, when they're out on, I can't remember what the word is in the state code for it, but when they're out, basically if they're out on the gravel roads, recreational riding, they can do that now. But city streets are, city streets are a no-go unless explicitly authorized by the city, or ag exception. So, I think I know what fundraiser you're talking about. I thought that was supposed to be, I wasn't part of it, I thought that was supposed to be motorcycles. But
Yeah, I thought so too.
But it wasn't? Okay.
No.
But yeah, like, out in the country, legal.
Well, for example, I know somebody that came the other day and cut all the weeds out of, he has a side-by-side with his trailer, cut all the weeds and then took them out to wherever you dump the stuff out there. And he does that to help me, because I don't have a way to get these things out.
And I haven't been deeply immersed in this issue in Holstein. I know it was in Battle Creek a few years ago, it's still a problem down there. But we started getting a lot of complaints, and the people were using them for yard work. Well, their city council still had not authorized them for yard work. So the tickets I wrote, guess what they were doing? Yard work, because that's what I caught. We can't do, I guess from the sheriff's office point, we can't do gray. It either needs to be one way or another. Either ordinances need to reflect, you can use them on these roads, because you can designate certain roads that they can use. I don't know if you can designate certain uses. That I don't know, I apologize. But, if it's we don't want you to stop people going to the dump, but we want you to stop everybody else, that's an absolute nightmare for everybody. So that'd be my only suggestion there, is maybe try to button those up so that it's not, not a gray zone. Battle Creek mayor at the time was very angry with me for writing some people that were doing yard work. I'm like, hey, we were getting complaints, these people were riding their ATVs, you guys didn't make it legal, so. I know that sounds a little harsh, but.
Well, it sounds like maybe the council needs to review at some point the ordinances again.
Oh, it's on the agenda this year to codify those ordinances.
And what about golf carts? You said golf carts,
Another thing I was reading up today,
you said Ida Grove can't do that?
Ida Grove,
But Holstein
your
doesn't
guys'
have to.
just follows the state code, so they can't drive on 59. Has to be a licensed driver, safety equipment, the triangle, all the safety equipment and stuff. So your guys' is actually on golf carts is fairly unrestrictive. Ida Grove, and I'm not saying you should do what they're doing, sorry, I don't mean it that way. But just as an example, theirs is very specific that you can take the shortest and most direct route from your home or where the golf cart is parked to the golf course and back. So it's basically saying no joyriding. You know, you can go to and from and that's it.
Is that what we have here?
That's what I thought it was.
I honestly
I
did.
saw-
But that's not in
I
our
was
code,
looking for
that's,
golf
we can
carts.
do that.
I searched golf.
This is an ideal.
No,
I
I think
know,
that's here too, because I thought we had that discussion
I
before.
searched golf,
that it
the
was
word golf in your
direct
city
route.
code, and
I
I just
know.
found,
I looked today
Yeah.
and I didn't find
Nothing
it.
in the golf, for golf
Right.
carts.
so if they're becoming
I
a,
saw them at
I thought we had
two
it.
little kids just.
if they're becoming an issue, that, I mean, honestly, that, I have a lot of trouble with them in Ida Grove. I'm not gonna say people don't joyride in them, because I live down the street from the golf course, people joyride in them, I mean.
I don't know if it's a problem, but there's people who do it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Corey.
Anything for me, guys?
Anything for
Can I
you?
just give you guys a really quick update on EMS that's gonna affect Holstein?
Sure, sure.
Since I'm here, I'm gonna go around it in July, but I'll make it really brief. We had a big TIF issue with TIF Division of Revenue, with EMS. That has been solved, effective July 1. And at our next EMS meeting, we are going to hopefully, I have it on the agenda to ask for approval to discontinue billing. And Holstein gets the brunt of those ALS upcharge bills. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking, Tammy would know what I'm talking about, but basically when the county provides advanced level care, we turn around and bill the city for it. That is on the agenda to discontinue that. And then service support allocations were part of the initial EMS plan, but due to startup costs, we haven't been able to do that yet. Well, now with the TIF thing, we're in great shape. Don't quote me on the number, but I think somewhere in the neighborhood of about it's gonna be between $35,000 and $40,000 every year that will be available to Holstein for EMS equipment from county funds, starting the next fiscal year. My brain's a little scrambled. FY 27, thank you. Starting FY 27. Now, it'll have to be budgeted to be expended, but that's a huge win for everybody. So I know that that's some financial stuff that will affect you guys a lot, because, you know, $40,000 a year is a lot of, you can do a lot.
Right.
A lot with that.
Sure.
So I got some great news there.
Good for you.
I'm gonna come around when it's all official. I'll probably ask to be on the agenda, and come around, but just as a preview, that's kind of been front and center for me for the last several months, and we finally got it done, so.
Good.
Anyway,
Thank
I'll
you
stop
very
talking
much.
now.
Thank you, Corey.
Thank you, guys.
Next, I have review plans and specifications for the Benning Drive Storm Sewer Project.
Do you need me to pull that up on the computer, or do you have plans?
I have a set of plans.
Okay.
I guess if there's specific questions, happy to run through that with council. Just let me know what you are looking for. Plans are obviously at a point where we're ready to bid the project, so plans are by and large complete and ready to go.
This is what you needed? Okay.
So again, happy to, I guess if you would like me to recap, just for an understanding of what the intent of was the project, I guess, from at least from our perspective of the instruction that we were given. On Benning Drive, that when the actual roadway was constructed, it did not include a subdrain. So basically a drain or storm sewer system on the back of the city street. Over the years, as that area has been developed and people have put in homes and homes with basements, some pumps become a part of that, and that water has been traditionally just tied into the city curb, which then creates a little bit of a hazard for pedestrians and children on bikes, where it creates a little bit of a slick spot in the gutter section. And so there was a desire, this has been an ongoing conversation for a number of years, but I think more recently it's been brought up with a little more concern. And so we were asked to evaluate solutions to that. Currently, there's a lot of utilities just right on the back of curb, so it becomes really challenging and much more expensive to try to put in some kind of a subdrain or perforated tile or a storm sewer on the back of curb where we've got utilities already there. So what we looked at was putting it on basically the rear lot line of each side, east and west, and then allow that to drain into where the existing storm sewers that drain the street section. There are some intakes there that eventually drain that water to the east to give homeowners an opportunity to tie their storm sewer into that or their sump pumps into those, so that we're controlling where that water goes and it's not out on the public street.
So I see you're stopping at 20 or 21. Right. This
Yes,
is your drain
yep,
here,
yep.
you're stopping
Sorry, trying to get
here,
orientated there.
and then you're stopping way back here at 13, so you're
Correct.
not taking care of anything over here.
Yeah, and that, again, we're gonna do the same thing that we're doing currently, is that we're gonna put it right in the city street, because there isn't, this is the crest of the hill, I guess I put it that way. So water's all draining this way, or it's draining this way. So to tie these in here.
Well, you'd have to deep.
Well, we would be 20 feet deep here.
Yeah.
To try to tie it to here, and it wouldn't work. We'd have to pump it. This whole thing would have to get significantly deeper. Or we just have a surface drain off to the backyards.
Did you ever look
And this
into
is under
sump pits, sump pumps, drains, rather than an expensive thing like this? Why can't we just go right, this side of the street, just go right back into the field with a pump, with their sump pump drain?
Elaborate a little more for me, Mike, because I'm not catching what you're.
Well, right
what
now.
do you mean by sump pump drain?
Well, the sump pump is pumping out to the street. Why not just take it going out here this way?
Well, the challenge is that
And
there's
not
only
have
one.
this.
There's only one outlet. If that's what you want to do, that's perfectly
I mean,
acceptable. But
to me,
there's no drainage.
this is very expensive to put in for something.
Absolutely it is. Yeah, that's the challenge is we have the bike trail here, and so there's no way.
Yeah, you
It
can get under
catches
it.
right there. Well,
Just like anything else, you know.
we talked
And
about
then
a
you
lot of
got-
options.
And then you've got easements you gotta get there, right?
Correct.
Approved easements
Correct.
from all the homeowners.
Yes. These were all conversations that were had a year, 2 years ago. So this is the direction that we were given to go.
Right.
We looked at a lot of different options.
And the field you're talking about is where our new, I mean, it's probably years down the road, but that'd be where your new houses are gonna go, right? Is where you're talking.
Correct. The city did purchase
You're just
a
draining
strip
into
of
that
land
field.
this same width here
Yeah.
to do kind of a mirror image of what.
Well, then
this
you
would
could
be.
put another, then you could put this in on the backside of the storm sewer here. A lot of options you could do there.
If, in retrospect, with a new street, if again, this was going to be mirrored over here, I guess my suggestion would be, let's do a conventional subdrain system to where it's actually, so when it is on the backside of the curb, there's actually a layer of gravel that goes under the concrete street, and then that subdrain ties directly into that at the back of the curb. And so what that does is it drains all of the water from underneath the underside of the street, so that we don't get that winter heave, that frost heave. So that's the intended purpose of more of a traditional subdrain. And if we were to construct the new segment in here, I guess our recommendation would be, let's build it with a subdrain, and then we have a place for these folks to tie into.
Right.
And we're getting the benefit of protecting the street from that winter freeze-thaw cycle.
Because your estimate is like 400,000 for this.
Correct.
I just think it's wasting money for the benefits that they're gonna gain from it.
What about, you're not able to do that on the golf course side though, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
they're gonna.
yep, all but the last few lots. I think this lot is the one that goes into.
No, I'm just saying if you waited to do
No,
the
you
east side, you can't do that on the golf course.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can put a sump pump filled-in drainage system. You just pump your water 10 feet from your house, and then you put a drain system in and just let it drain out. It'd be the owner of the expense of the homeowner, but
That's an option.
homeowner has to dig something back to here anyway. And everything's going out the front side.
Yeah, the biggest challenge with that is we generally have a little more clayey soils up there on that ridge. So once that capacity of that drain field is full, now it's gotta come up, that's the only.
Then push it to the street.
But that is an option in well-drained soil areas.
So,
How big a diameter of tile will be put in?
8 inch.
I think generally it's 8 inch. I think it transitioned.
8 inch you show.
It is. It ties into the existing 20.
There's like 10 or 15 manholes that they're putting in all along here and on the back side.
Mike, where does the water end up going? I mean, you got the 8-inch tile line, so where is it?
The water's gonna end up going through this 8 inch draw line, and then then it's gonna come here and dump into the
Storm
Storm
sewer.
storm sewer that right
Yeah.
here, and then come across and go here and then go back into the field.
Which is where it goes now.
Yes.
right.
It's just going down the street and ending up here. So we're just redirecting it is all.
Is that like a leach field that it goes through?
Well, it's not a leach field, but.
Well, I know it's not, but the concept's the same, isn't it? You're just dumping water out underground, right?
Well, that's kind of the concept that no, that's a total
That's our
drain
storm
system, that's all piped.
That's a storm sewer system.
But it has to go someplace, the water. It gets in the pipe, and then where's it go?
It drains to the east.
Drains into these.
Up to that.
Why does it go in, yeah.
It
Where
goes
does
in
it go
the
into?
farmer's
field.
It goes in the storm sewer here and
Yeah.
then out through the field.
It just,
Farmer's field.
It's just gravity.
If you look at an
So
aerial
it
map,
dumps out on top of the ground
leach
then?
field is, just kind of goes out there after it goes through the,
But it's not, it's going through a pipe system and then,
but sooner or later, the pipe ends, and the water's in it.
well, then it will
goes into the
leach
field.
out, like you were saying.
Just underground leach out?
Well,
Or
it just
on top?
goes, it comes out to the field right here.
What do you mean
And
it
just
comes out to the
empties.
field?
It's on the surface.
It's on the surface, right?
Correct.
We
So
can
it
see it,
floods
can't we,
across
from
the
the
Yeah,
walking
it's
trail?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, on the walking trail, you can see this right here, it just
Yeah,
dumps
but
right
sooner or
out.
later, it's gotta get out.
Right, and that's what, it's on that, so that whole thing over there where that storm sewer runs out, it just floats out in the field. That's all it's.
Here's what it discharges out.
We need to move on because we've got a lot of other things going on. So we need to set a public hearing to approve plans, specifications, form of contract, and engineer's estimate of cost for Benning Drive storm sewer. That will be set for July 14th, 2026. So who would like to make a motion to set that public hearing?
A public hearing to set the drawings?
To approve plans, specifications, form of contract?
I'm against it.
Okay, but then you
So-
will vote nay, okay? But I need someone to make a motion to set the public hearing.
I'll make the motion.
Marcus, okay? And second?
I'll second it.
Bonnie? Okay. And so then, I'll do a roll call vote. So, Bonnie?
Yes.
Steve?
Yeah.
Terry?
Yes.
Mike?
No.
Marcus?
Yes.
So we set that for July 14th. Okay. Next item, set date for bid letting for the Benning Drive storm sewer, July 9th, 2026, and that will be at 10 a.m. And that is, July 9th is a Thursday morning at 10 a.m. So I will need a motion to set the date, please.
I'll move.
Okay, Steve? We need a second?
Second.
Marcus? Do we need a roll call or voice? Okay, roll call vote? Okay. Steve,
Yes.
Terry.
Are the dates right on that? Sorry, so we're gonna approve the plans on the 14th, but the bid letting is before that. Is that right? Yeah, that's how that's gonna roll.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, yes?
Mike,
No.
Marcus,
Yes.
Bonnie.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the next item, set time and place for public forum regarding the Benning Drive Storm Sewer Project. So the date is,
We have to pick it.
oh, we picked the
Yeah.
date, okay.
How can you go ahead and approve the bid without having the easements approved?
That's all.
That's coming down.
Down the road. I mean, all these things are, it's coming.
It's on the
Down
next
here.
item. Confirm easements. Set time and place for public forum regarding the Benning Drive Storm Sewer Project. So what date? Would somebody like to?
Yeah, make a date suggestion.
Do we tuck it in before July 9th, or what would be best?
What do you think, Tom?
The sooner the better. Obviously, I mean, Mike has a good point, you know, we've got the easements prepared, they're ready to go, but they have not been shared with landowners, and so the sooner you can have that conversation, and so that they all understand the project and the necessity for the easements, because they will be required.
Can we do that before our next council meeting? The
Do we-
23rd of June?
Yeah, do we want to do it on the evening of the 16th?
Okay, that's a Tuesday night. What, at 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay. How about June 16th at 5 p.m.? Would that work for? Okay. June 16th, 5 p.m. Okay, I need a motion to approve that date.
That's for the public forum.
And that's at
Okay.
5 o'clock, right?
5 o'clock.
Can residents make 5 o'clock, or, I mean, it's really, is it for the residents to attend?
Yeah, it's
and-
for them to come in, yeah.
Is 5 o'clock too early?
Well, I mean,
Unless you do 6. I mean, I don't know.
I'm just saying, the working folks, but
Oh.
5 might be,
Yeah.
5:30 maybe.
5:30? Okay.
I don't know, I think
Okay.
we'd like them to come. if they-
Yeah. Okay, so June 16th at 5:30. Okay, so can somebody make a motion to accept that time?
I'll make the motion.
Marcus? Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, Steve. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Opposed?
Okay, the next item, confirm easements are good to certify, clarify timing of easement agreements around public forum.
So they're all ready to go, and they just need to be at that public forum, right?
Correct, yeah,
Okay.
again, we sent those over for city review, just to make sure that everything appears okay, and that the project, if it does proceed, will need those easements executed with each of the homeowners there.
Okay.
And we can gladly share those individually with homeowners who attend the public forum, or if there's a need to do it outside of that, we're happy.
Well, you're not gonna get easements from me, 3 sets of property there. So what's that mean to the project?
Well, that'll put I mean, you can't cross that easement, so.
So, I need a motion to confirm the easements that are good to certify.
I'll make the motion.
Marcus? I need a second.
Second.
Terry? Okay, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay? Okay. So, June 16th at 5:30. Next item, engineer update on WWSI project.
Is it the water treatment plant project?
Yeah.
I didn't know what it stood for. WWSI.
Everybody uses initials rather than speaking out.
Is that wastewater system improvements? Is that
Yes.
the-
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so King is making some pretty significant process, easy for me to say. They've got 3 crews working on site there this week. So we're currently discharging water from the upper lagoon cells to make room for them to de-water those areas basically, so they can get in there with equipment and get some work done in those ponds. They are, I believe they've excavated the building foundation, and footings are planned to be poured here later this week. And I believe they got the excavation done for the Sager cells up there on that footprint as well. And they are planning to start building the sacrificial walls in there, where they will fill those with the rock, where the biological activity is going to happen for that kind of post-lagoon treatment for those ponds. So that's going reasonably well. They've also got a crew that's going to start installing some additional piping structures on the site here yet this week. So Bedrock has gotten most of their equipment off. They were the contractor that was in there doing most of the earth moving and the grading for the site. And we've got some things to work out for the electrical service. During the design phase of the project, the electrical service that feeds from the utility power to the existing lift station, the city did not have a way to locate that. The locating companies don't generally locate private services. And so we made some assumptions based on Scott's recollection of where that electrical line was at. And lo and behold, it's right where we want to build a lift station. So we're going to have to come up with a plan to do a temporary relocation or another option there. We've got some information from King Construction on what we believe is a solid relocation plan, but I need some more information from Marcus.
So you haven't worked up a change order on that?
We have not, because I'm waiting for information from Marcus.
That's the Wayne project. Okay.
I have part of a change order, which I think is very provable. What I don't have is King's portion of that. Had an understanding of what part of that change order is them navigating, installing the pipe.
That's a fight between you.
Yep.
I can't. That's a fight between, I don't know who that, between you and King, I guess.
I think,
and trying to push the costs on to the board or the council, but.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing that conflict probably slowed their crew down a little bit, but I don't believe that we should pay 15% of the installed cost.
And I don't know,
of the pipe.
and you can maybe negotiate with them on that, maybe.
That's where we're at, right? Is we're negotiating that. So they'll probably do some additional costs on that, to be honest, but I don't feel it's what they're asking for is necessarily what the city should be paying. So that's where we stand today. The other piece of that, we're all on board. So.
And then then you also know about the sludge, the excess sludge.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do about that?
Well, we had a plan for that, and again, what Marcus is claiming is sludge, I don't believe this is 100% sludge. I think there's a lot of soil intermixed with that where they cleared that pad, so. We've done some sample
take
analysis.
samples of that?
Yeah, we've done some sample analysis of that to determine how much of it is actually sewage sludge and how much of it is soil. I don't have they didn't get the full realm of what we requested for that, so I'm still waiting for sample results.
Because that costs a lot of money.
When we did the clean out of the other, the west cell, there was about 11 inches in that total. The majority of that was duckweed and algae, that was just left over. All of the primary treatment happens down in the bottom 2 cells, and so I find it hard to believe we have the amount of sludge that they claim is in there.
Well, he says there's 3 foot to 4 foot in that area.
We sludge, again, I don't particularly agree with his number, so. At 11 inches, we can manage that on site without having to be removed. So we need to delineate what's soil and what's sludge and how we manage that. So we need some more sample results before we can understand. Can we manage it in place? Right. That's the intent, is to manage it in place. That was the original plan from day
Yeah,
one.
but then there's turned out to be too much of it.
Okay. Anything else to come?
Tom's gonna go down to North Main Park with us when we take our field trip, so.
Oh, okay. So then we're going to move Randy up. Approval of. Unless-
You know, I just saw your voicemail going, it's the last thing on the agenda, Ron. But it's interesting, that's.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna move you up, so.
Well, thanks.
Of the pro shop and tennis proposal and Boswick fencing estimate. Okay, so that was in your packet. And so Randy, you want to explain anything, or?
Sure.
Let me
Why not?
swing around.
Okay, so right now, the last budget is about 73.6. We added the option 2, which is the right-way system, properly named. And I think you all know why, I think, because they filled the cracks last year and they're about ½ an inch, the big ones. And they did very well. I mean, but every one of them developed a 1/8 crack adjacent to the edge on one side or another, it doesn't matter. So we decided if, nobody wants cracks in this thing right away, so we decided to add 26.2, option 3. So we're up to 73.6, let's just say 75, you always have stuff, right? So we at last count, we are at 65.7, I think there's more money than that, 7,900 to get to the budget, and that's been promised by the Hammer.
Yeah, right now we're at 62,350 in our books.
Yeah, I don't know if you haven't got the Iowa State check through VT to the cost.
This is everything we've got, so.
Well,
I'm gonna
anyhow,
give that to you,
okay, sure.
Just so you have that.
Yeah, I've got the other one, so it changed.
Yeah, we have had
Well, anyhow.
private donations coming in.
Private donation. Yeah, I gotta talk to Daniel, he's the CFO of VT, because the Iowa State Bank wrote the check to the Boston Family Foundation, so he's got to write the check out of there to there. And then Horn Memorial, 2,500, I think is in
I think
transit.
that one
Is
is
it?
in that one.
And Ag States promised 500, Bible study thing 200, so my math's right now, I'll compare these two.
Sure, that
You
sounds
want that
good.
back, or can I keep it?
You can keep it.
I can keep it. So anyhow, we essentially have the money. I know you want it in the bank before we start, but time's ticking. I know. The fencing goes in first, according to Pro Track and Tennis. That's the $6,500. When can we go on
If they approve that tonight,
that?
we could start. If they're okay with having the 62 in the account now, knowing that the other is coming in.
Right.
What was
So,
the total, did you say, Andy, for everything?
for the whole project?
Yeah.
Well, 73.6.
73.6,
Okay. So that's where, and there is one other thing, and the only concern, and it's a valid concern, I went to check that gap between the fence and the existing asphalt. And I talked to Scott Niemeyer about it for some reason, and he says, use the red clay that they use for the ball fields. He says it'll work fine. I don't know, you guys know what I'm talking about? I know, I kind of have an idea. So it's pretty stable, and versus gravel, step on gravel, you can still twist. Putting in asphalt, nobody's gonna do that job, So this is a good, we just need a little backstop for that red clay, and I guess I'm kind of asking for the city to maybe do that. You guys apparently do this for the ball fields? Can you talk?
Red line,
Sure,
check
red
red
line.
line,
Red-
we called it.
Yeah.
When they talked to you,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
talked to Josh.
Yeah.
at Heck
So, I mean, I think
yesterday.
that'll solve the problem, and we can get that done. We don't need to be done before the fence line goes in. And again, the fence line, we're talking about the 4-foot high one, going running north and south, and then between the 2 pickleball courts. So people don't have to go chasing stuff all over. We kind of up in the air about whether consensus is pickleball courts on the west side versus the east side, primarily due to we play in the morning a lot of times, and a lot of shade modeling, sun on the east side versus the west side, so we prefer to do that. that's okay. So I guess, I just wanna know, okay, so starting with Steve, 'cause our contract with our proposal from Pro Track and Tennis expires June 24th. So we're tick-tock on that. He might extend it, but I'd rather not ask
But
for
if we
another
approve
one.
it tonight, then we are good to go.
Yes, and then, so I just need to know, do you wanna get with Steve of Boswick Fencing, or for me to coordinate with you on that, or? I'd just like to get on his agenda so that we
Sure.
can get going. So can I at least call him and say, you
Yeah,
know, it's
and then
essentially a
we'll
go, when can you go?
Yeah, and
Okay.
then we'll, if you have a date from them, then
Yeah.
we'll just coordinate that with Public Works.
Sounds good.
Is he asking for a down payment?
No, that's just
We
kind of
will
a
do.
one-day thing, 6,500, I mean, apparently. And there will be this commercial grade, drill in the posts, and then we're gonna have the cushions on top, so that, hang on, actually got a picture of that one. So, any questions? So, we're gonna get the money, you know, we've essentially got it. Angie's on a cruise, she says, or I think it was Angie that Mary talked to. So when she gets back, but we don't wanna, we'll wait until we see how the fundraiser goes through what,
Kinderfest, I think they were gonna.
and then we'll just find out what we need for the rest, and there you go. It's gonna happen. You know. Photos.
So right now, I'm looking for someone to make a motion to approve Pro Track and Tennis proposal and Bostwick fencing estimate.
I'll move.
Okay, Steve?
I'll second it.
Okay, Mike? And this is a voice vote, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, here you can pass it. This is kind of what we're talking about on that rail pushing on top.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just so it's not just chain link fence stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
What the ball fields use.
That looks
Yeah,
nice.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that looks good.
So that, and by the way, just a quick one, this is like the windscreen, you'll see.
Yep.
You know, this is the tennis court up at Okoboji.
It's gonna look.
And then,
We could have tournaments.
and then the color system will be that.
Yeah.
Is that right? I think it'll look good.
There's people playing all the time,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this will really,
Kids and,
increase
yeah,
play.
I think so
I love
too.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, there is one other thing though. We do need a sign up there, like Mobile and a few others, no skateboards, no bikes, no dogs. Come on, guys. But
Yeah.
this is pickleball, there's the hoops, and there's tennis. It's not for learning how to ride a bike or all that stuff.
Electric bikes for sure.
Electric
Yeah.
bikes.
Yeah.
They'll run into the fence.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you, I take a picture of the sign that Mobile's got, it's pretty comprehensive, it's good, so you don't have to read page.
Yeah, would you take a, would you get a picture?
I'll do that.
And send it,
Just email it.
that'd be great.
I can do that.
That'd be
We
great.
appreciate that.
So,
You're gonna get hold of Boswick.
I'll
and-
call
So
Boswick.
you've been
tomorrow.
approved.
All right.
I think it'd be really good, and again, I changed my mind on that pro mesh system, the right way system.
Yeah, I think it's a good.
We just, what?
It's talking to you. Thank you, Randy.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Okay. Okay,
I'm sorry.
departmental reports,
There
real
will
quick.
be, well, there will be some assigned for
Donor board.
donor board. And I think Jepson has their own requirements, but they gave 25 grand, so I haven't heard what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then, you know, you got some 10,000, 10,000, 12,000.
Okay.
So you got, so
Yeah.
we'll have to figure out what sign we're gonna have to put there.
Yep.
You know? Okay,
We can
thanks.
do that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you.
Oh, we're gonna do that now, and then come back.
Yep.
Did you want to hear my mayor's reports? We're going to take a field trip down to the North Main Park, so we're going to be walking.
Matt, you got wheels?
Okay. And Tom is coming with us.
All right, that felt good.
What do you think, how should we proceed with repairs to that, or do you wanna?
Do you have suggestions, Tom?
I did talk to our structural engineer, it's probably been almost 6 months ago now, I think, since we last looked at it. And they, essentially that's because it's gonna keep settling until it's done settling. I mean, eventually it will just stabilize. And so your options are to manage it until you get through a couple cycles here to make sure that we've got the good compaction and it's settled where it's going to, or you take it up and you remove the material and then you put it all back in. I mean, those are really the two options that you have for managing that, so.
So what is the general consensus of the council?
I'd say leave it.
Wait till it's
Yeah,
done
you
settling.
mentioned let it go a little
Yeah,
more. You
wait a
said
couple
maybe we
years
can
and see
manage a
what
little
happens.
bit with the
Well, I
blocks.
mean, unless you really notice that you're not gonna,
How many, like, 4 years about allowing that to settle? or-
Potentially, it could take a couple more years. I think the big thing is just managing where the blocks are uneven, and that becomes a trip hazard. Just like out on the sidewalk, when those panels start to disjoint,
Yeah.
that's the trip hazard. And so if you can kind of manage those specific little areas where they may either have to take a block out and have a little bit of sand underneath it, or knock the other block down. But that's the big thing. I wouldn't be quite as worried about just the angle of the uniformity of it, but where you have that disjointment, that's the trip hazard that you really have to care.
So will we just reach out to McCormick and
Yeah.
get that repaired? I mean, they've come back once. I think we would hate to pay them.
Oh, no.
This time,
No,
but,
it's,
yeah.
no, it's their warranty to me.
I'll look at the document.
yeah, let's see what the document
They've
says.
been back once,
Yeah.
and they completely tore that corner up.
Okay, so we'll look at that and see where we're gonna proceed from there. And if it's not under warranty, then just get a price from them.
Okay. Do you mind looking into that?
I've got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, I've got it. It's with the Holstein Betterment stuff, so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Very good. So, do you wanna stick around for departmental reports?
I'd be happy to leave.
I don't understand why.
You guys
Thank
have
you
good.
so much.
Thank you.
Okay, mayor's report. For May 2026, Stock Waterville, City Council number 12. The 13th of May, we had a personnel committee work on Tammy's evaluation. The 14th, ISG meeting with the park plan and the pickleball meeting. The 19th, Tammy and I attended the EMS open house in Ivy Grove. 22nd, we met with Tammy with her evaluation. 25th, I gave the mayor's proclamation at the Memorial Day ceremony. 26th, City Council, and 29th, attended the nuisance meeting. Public Works report.
We don't have a public works report.
Not today, okay. Community Center report. We had one
Yep, it was on the table when you.
on the
came
table
in.
when we got here. I know they're really busy down there.
Good.
It looks like, and it really tickled. I see that over Kinderfest, they're having free swimming depths, and I love that. I think that's just nice. Okay. Treasurer's report, budget report, administrator, blah, blah, blah. And it's all in the packet. Sorry.
Anyway, we're at the last month of the fiscal year. This is June. We're still within our budget limits in every fund or function that we have. We're still doing fine. The only area that we may eke over would be the general government fund, is depending on legal fees coming through. And then I think we're good there. You've got your treasurer's report there as well.
I really like this packet that you put together.
And then you've got your departmental reports
So
there.
nice.
The pool's been added on there through the summer, so you'll see everything going on with the pool. Just in my report, I just want to highlight the fact that the ambulance billing, you've got the transition timeline there. We'll be working on that transition throughout.
So that's where our timeline is, where we go off at QMC and on to PCC, which also apparently will work well with the county and be able to work together with the county on that. Your taxi report, your permits and license, we do have a couple of building permits listed there. We do have approved a permit for the school extension yesterday. So you'll see all of that construction starting to happen, I think this week, at least.
Yeah, they
demo.
moved it,
Yeah.
moved in.
Yeah.
Who's building? Who's the name? Or is it?
It's Keith Cosmo, something like that. I'm not, yeah. And then you have the pool report, which kind of just gives you an overview of the activity in the pool. Then the library. Pet registrations pretty much is the same as last. We're not collecting any pet registration. In-house nuisance, we had 77 overgrown lawn calls. And then you end up with the nuisance log, which you have all the abated, all the watched, all the courtesy. This is up to date as of 6/5, unless I missed some notes on that meeting, but I think this is pretty up to date with what was determined. And that's it, that's all I got for you. Jamie, can I ask on the fire capital, on the
Yes,
budget report?
sure.
What was, I mean, the budget was 25,000 and fiscal activity 115.
Fire capital, that was.
304.
Yep, that was the grass fire truck.
Okay.
It went, fire department went over budget, but the function did not go over budget.
Okay.
So we are not over budget in the function because it's public safety as a function.
Right.
But that was the grass fire truck that they purchased.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, and it was, Billy and I, when we sat down to budget, we didn't have that in budget.
Sure.
So that's
Okay.
what that was.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions for Tammy on anything?
I have a question. Out here at the wastewater plant,
Yes.
Tom really didn't mention this, but there's gonna be, getting rid of that sludge is gonna be expensive. How are we gonna budget that in?
For the wastewater,
That
well,
could be,
it could be, but
could be a
it could-
$400,000 bill.
But it could not be.
It could not be either,
Yeah,
but
so we would just amend the budget at that
with
point.
something that the council better be aware of, that
Yeah.
there's
and
gonna
then-
be something coming out there that's gonna get expensive.
Well, yeah, and they'll get those change orders when they're done negotiating those change orders, and then you guys can get an idea of what that cost
I
would
just
be.
wanted to give them a heads up.
Yeah, so,
There's gonna be expenses coming out
but again, when they have the change order negotiated, that's when it'll be
there.
in front of you
That
guys.
was just that one change order, that wasn't
So that's just
sludge.
something that the engineers missed?
No, it,
yes.
it,
Yes.
we had the sludge removed from the wastewater. They pushed it up,
Oh,
and it looked like there was a lot. They're currently testing it to make sure it's actually sludge and not dirt and sludge.
They said it was only 6 inches of sludge,
but now it's,
and there's more like 3 to 4 foot of sludge. So they did miscalculate it when,
But it's
Engineers.
not determined quite yet. They're testing it. So
They're
we'll have
testing
to
it.
see how it comes out.
you go out and walk on it.
I'm just saying they're testing. I can't
What do you
tell
do when you walk
between-
on?
I can't tell between dirt and poo. That's why they have tests.
Yeah.
So
That's, we'll let the people that
Yes.
test it, so.
So that's where that's at. So it's not.
Hopefully it
change order
is
yet.
not
Yeah.
nothing, but there's a lot of it out there. It's unbelievable.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? Otherwise, I'm looking for someone to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Marcus, I need a second.
Second.
Terry, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.